Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Corrupt Chronicles. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on straight into it. As you all already know, I did say that I was going to submit all the complaints, the rest of the complaints. Didn't get finished with that today because it's so many. The rabbit hole goes deep. I'll never forget that singing sister, and I just say that about her. She's one who was actually in the singing group that was actually in that circus cult, and I'll never forget that they came out after me. She did, and she, it was a group of us, just talking about that circus code and the circus code leader and everything. And she was just like, the rabbit hole goes deep. Yeah, that rabbit hole goes real deep. I could not put in all the claims, today because there's so many. When I tell you all, it's a lot. So I'm probably not going to be finished with this until next week. I did send out the email to all the ones who've elected to join into the class action lawsuit. So I did send that email out early this AM. And so for those of you who, when I get finished, let me just say this. When I get finished with submitting all these claims, because I get a confirmation number for all of them. Yeah. And I'm, keeping track of it, actually. And so when I get finished with putting in all the claims and you all be able to see, I'm going to send it out to you all, the ones of you who, have elected to, join into in with the class action lawsuit, just so that you can see, I mean, that it's nothing but fraudulent activity, criminal activity going on in there. There's things that I actually figured out, by looking, at who has businesses in there, when they were started, and all of that. I mean, it's a lot. And like I said, I'm not just putting in claims just for one agency. There are sometimes 2-3 agencies that I have to put in claims for. I mean, me working on my laptop, I have like 6-7 tabs opened. Yeah, when I'm sitting here working on this, it's like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not joking with you, not at all. And, I don't want anybody to think that I'm exaggerating, because I'm not. And true again, what I said, 90% of them sitting in there, they are corrupt, just like that circus cult leader. And you'll see what I'm talking about. The ones of you who I send this information out to, that I've, put these claims in. Yeah, I'm going to email it out to you all when I get finished with it. So, I'm not, of course I'm not finished with it. I mean, I worked on it for 5 hours today. Yeah. I mean, this has been hours upon hours of work me doing this, and me actually seeing where the fraudulent activity is, the criminal activity, and all of that. Yeah. So like I said, it's real serious. It's very serious. And, it's so funny because, it's so funny how when I was in there, and I was talking with Sis Kid and I, we were messaging, and and I just told her, I said, you remember when the officer in there, the one who was abusing his disabled wife, yeah, he used to call me Gangsta Boo. Yeah, he used to call me Gangsta Boo, and she was like, yeah, I remember that. And that service code leader used to call me gang leader. Used to, mess with me about that or whatever, what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, it's true. I'm about it. Seriously. And like I said, I'm about it. I am not playing about this. And folks in my personal life, that know me for years. I'm talking about before, even before the circus code. I mean, yeah, those type know me coming up and on now. Yeah, they know I'm about it, and those are the ones I was talking about being about me. There's some of them, they not playing. They're not playing, and I'm gonna tell you all this too. When I submit on the one agency, the IRS, and they ask, "Oh, do you deem this taxpayer as being this individual as being dangerous?" I click the yes box on every last one of them, because I look at it like this: anybody who has a weapon, and y'all know what I'm talking about, yeah, you are dangerous. Yeah, you potentially dangerous. So yeah, sure enough. And like I said, who's gonna sit here and put their name on this stuff? I'm checking boxes. I certify that the information I have given, on this form, statements I have, made on this form are, are accurate to the best of my, knowledge and things like that. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to perjure myself. I'm not going to commit obstruction of justice. No, I'm not. That's them in there. Those criminals do all that. Not me, because I'm not a criminal. Not at all. So I'm not playing about this. And of course, I'm not lying about anything. I'm giving all the information that I know of. And just how dirty they are in there, certain things, come to my mind as I'm working on this and stuff, that they actually have done in there to just not to me, but to others. And one thing that actually popped in my head when I was working on this, and this today, it came to me today, the one female who's in there married to the male truck driver, and everything, they went over to Ghana with the circus code leader, Shitty One, and his whore, Shitty Two, actually. And so y'all put it together. Whatever they own a trucking company. Yeah, they own trucking company. And so on her information, and like I said, all this is public information. Only thing you have to do is get online and go to, like I said, Open Corporates Georgia, Open Georgia Corporates, actually, and then, type in first name, last name, and it all come up. And so one of the businesses that came up that they have is for housing. And I just say that, I'm not going to say the name of the business. But when I was talking to the brother from Philadelphia, the one that came into that money, and he's real hot, and he just left out last year, he told me that, and I had said this on a past video, where his part of his inheritance was him inheriting from his mother, and he did get it, an apartment building with 16 units. And so when he went to the service code leader, he was like, I want to keep, this building. He talking about the service code leader talking about sell it, and you need to sell it, and and like, he told me first time he was told that by the service code leader, he walked off. He just walked off. And so then when circle back around, he talked to the circus code leader again. It was about selling. And then finally, circus code leader said, you can't empower sinners. They'll be in there, and they'll be committing fornication in there and adultery, and said all this or whatever to have this brother sell the building, which he did. He wound up selling it for way less than what it was worth for me and everything. I mean, like I said, this brother was coerced and just, manipulated out of over $3 million. And this includes, property. This includes property, money, cash, him running up thousands, tens of thousands on credit cards that he had, this brother. And so anyhow, he had told him before. Now this brother the brother from Philadelphia had told service code leader that he would make the building into a home, and well, into apartments for Section 8. He was like, I'll put it on Section 8, and I'll just have, single mothers, with their children, who are low income, come in there and rent it out. So he was like, no. Told that brother no. Now, sold it. Now, years later, this was just a few years back that, the brother, like I said, from Philadelphia, I'm talking about, told me, what happened. Keyboard man, y'all know who I'm talking about, Tiny Tim? Yeah, service code leader allowed for him to rent out. He has an Airbnb, have an Airbnb. And like, the brother, from Philadelphia said, well, that's the same difference. He's, empowering sinners. He don't know what they're doing in there. And then as a matter of fact, the brother said that keyboard man Tiny Tim came in there and was asking, does anybody know how to get the smell of weed out of curtains? So I guess, whoever was renting it out for Airbnb, they was in there smoking weed. Yeah. And so I'm like, wow, and it doesn't shock me though, but it's just hearing, it doesn't shock me that service code leader would do anything like that, but it's just hearing the details about it. And so, yeah, that's just one thing that came to my mind. And I was like, okay, so you have this housing business, getting back to that, with the couple in there, the married couple that has the trucks or whatever, they have a housing, this housing, business. And so I began putting two and two together, because the wife, actually, she's in that political stuff with the whore of the service code leader, Shitty too. And so I was like, are y'all trying to, if she gets in there, I'm running for, she gets in to all, y'all gonna try to, get money and, funds, to have a home for, those with low income and, women, singles. And a lot of times it goes for especially single mothers with minors. And, I also thought about it, and I was like, they probably been, talking to them single mothers with minors who are in there, whether they are married, separated, or just single with minors in there. It's all a whole fraud ring. It's all a whole con game. And it just all has come to me. With seeing this, it all has come to me, y'all. For real. I'm sitting here like, wow. And I thank divine spirit and my ancestors, because I done put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And yes, as Callie said, it's a cesspool in there. And he said, they just like him. They are corrupt just like him. 90% of those grown-ups, like I said, when I say that, I'm not talking about those children sitting in there, they innocent. I'm talking about those grown-ups. Only 10% of them grown-ups have their hands clean. Yeah, and when I put out this information to you all, when I send the email out and I attach everything, all of the claims I put in, and if y'all go and y'all look up those companies and stuff, y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all gonna see it on what I put in, because I can't put in claims for companies that are non-existent. No, these are active. Yeah. And I mean, I've had to put in for the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, all that. They doing all kind of fraud, all types of nefarious activity going on in there. Yes. And I'll just go on and say, another way that, because when I was looking up things, because, sometimes I have to type in the company and just get certain information or whatever. Just depends on what I'm, claiming or, putting the claim in, what agency. And so it came up. And again, this is with the second assistant pastor and that male that's in there I just talked about, who owned the trucks, and they own a trucking company together. And like I said, the service code leader was I guess he no longer, I don't know if he is still a silent partner or whatever with it. And so, when I was saying yesterday about Brother Joel working for them, driving the truck, actually, I was talking about, he went on and he got another position, good position with a different company working, for them and everything, after they went ahead and did him dirty and let him go like that. He was getting pallets. Brother Joe was like the place where he was working. They, they were just like, okay, because they came to him, that second assistant pastor and that and that male in there that owned the trucking company had actually came to Brother Joe and asked if his company had any, pallets that they didn't use or whatever. And, because they had like a pallet business somewhere, they resell them or do something with them. I'm not really for sure. But anyhow, so Brother Joe being, like I said, the kind, and everything, because I would have been like, what? That's just me. Stood there and looked like, but I get it though, just having, the kind of her, just, okay, I'll see. And he did, and at his, place of employment. And they said, yeah, you can have them. They knew that he was taking them, and, we're not going to use them. We're going to get rid of them, so they went ahead and he was doing that for them. All kind of pals. Do you know that they did not pay him not one penny? Not one penny for selling them pallets or whatever they was doing with it. They did not give Brother Joe not one penny. Not a one. Oh, just talking about, I appreciate what we appreciate it. No, you show your appreciation by breaking me off some of that money. Yeah, for real. Dirty, boy. I tell you, dirty up in there. And I'll just say, I can go back through different situations, and I'm going to bring up something with me with that circus code leader. Now, this is when, of course, we was over there in that raggedy ass dump of a building that they sitting in now. And I will never, like I said, something I just never forget. And I had opened my place up to two sisters that was in there. The one is still female, is still in there. The other sister, she done left. She's gone with her husband and their children and everything. And they got on up out of there. But it was and I opened up my home. She was a single sister at that time. Both of them were single sisters at the time. And so, anyhow, and so the last one, the second one, she went on and she, moved on out and moved in with some other, females who's in there, whatever, and started roommating, with them. I didn't need a roommate. I want to make that quite clear. I didn't need a roommate. I was helping them out. These two separate, females or whatever, because like I said, I just have the type of heart, like that. Well, anyhow, so I was open, and this was in 2015, when this happened, with the early part of 2015. And so, I had, I was by myself, living there. No, I'm sorry, the early part of 2016. It was like in January 2016. I take that back. It was like January 2016, because I didn't get out of there until March of 2016. So yeah, so the second, female, she left and everything. It was in January 2016. So well, anyhow, it was a Wednesday night. I'll never forget, because I had stopped going up and greeting him after service and everything, that service code leader, because like I said, I was just sitting there, and then, with the ridicule and the verbal abuse and, all that, and the belittling and all that, coming at me. I don't want to greet you. You sitting up here, and talking about me, you know, and making jokes on me, and, you know, trying to make it's like a joke. No, you don't joke like that around people, you know, not at all. You know, just like I said, narcissistic behavior. Anyhow, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go up here and greet him, you know, tonight after, because it'd been a while. So it was a Wednesday night, and I went up there and I greeted him, and he was like, oh, he said, I want to ask you something. I said, yeah. I said, yes, like that. And he said, would you mind if this one, I don't know if she's still in there, I don't know, but she was a single mother and a single, you know, a single female, had never been married, but she was a single mother of a minor son. And when I get into it, y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, would you mind if sister so-and-so, you know, came and, you know, and her son came and lived with you? And I said, yes, I would mind very much so. Oh, okay. That's what the circus code leader said to me. Just looked like, oh, okay, like kind of like shocked. Like she said no. Yeah, I said no, because I was done. And nobody come and live with me anymore. Because like I said, I was good on my own by myself. Because even the ones I had there, the one, she started off paying her, because I just charged them $300 a month, and that was for the rent, utilities, water, all that, and then they had to pay their own food and, you know, their own food and you know, I mean, and everything. And the first one or whatever, she stopped working at her place of employment, talking about they was doing, you know, some criminal activity and stuff, because she was working at I think it was a collection center. And she didn't even have a car. And then the other one didn't have a car starting out for a long time. Yeah. Before she went ahead and got a car, you know, whatever. So, you know, I'm you know, taking them and, you know, and everything back and forth to service, you know, along with me and everything. But yeah, but the first one, she stopped, and she did not work for like it was over a year before she got out of my place. And so, you know, I was taking care of her like she was a dependent. And like the brother said, you know, from Philadelphia, he had two brothers like that. One brother, the one male, he's still in there, single, never been married or anything, and over 3 years. And then he was cleaning up after him. Now, the sisters, they was, you know, I own it about that cleaning, because I'm not playing that. But he was cleaning up after him and paying everything. And I think that came up when I was still in there about him. And it was like, you know, basically, oh, well, the strong gotta bear the infirmities of the weak. Yeah, but at certain times, I'm not your mother. You know, these, you know, other, you know, brothers in here who got their own stuff and everything, and not these brothers, their father. You know, I mean, for real, ain't nothing wrong, you know, helping out somebody, you know, they found her, but come on, a year, that long, months, and then going into years and all that, no. So anyhow, I was over it. Well, anyhow, I went on. So I never forget that Friday. Now, that when I greeted him was on Wednesday, he asked me about that Friday night after he was up there preaching to whatever he get up there doing. He was up there. Anyhow, the service code leader looked back there at me, because I used to sit, like I said, in the back, on that back pew, actually. And he said, yeah, look, he said, yeah, look at Amber sitting back there. So, something he said like that. And I just had a straight face, like, if you pick with me tonight, I'm going to go the fuck off on you. For real. You know, because I, you know, had it. Well, anyhow, he didn't say anything else after. Don't you know that next day, that Saturday, we had service. We had a meeting after service. It came out that female who was in there with the son, she was living with another female in her home. And I'm just gonna say that the officer in there who funky nasty don't want to wash her ass per her husband. And because she was single at the time, that officer. And so she was living in her house. And don't you know that she got bed bugs? Yeah, bed bugs from her. It was from the one that he asked me about, and he knew this. It came out in the meeting. Sister Keita, remember? Because I told her, I said, he asked me about it. I said, he knew about that on Wednesday. I talked to Sister Keita about that, and she said, well, sis, she said, because I said, I'm going to say something here, because she know how I am. Like I said, I'm internally strong, and like Sister Keita is too. It's just that we have different personalities, but yeah, I will. Just because I'm an introvert, no, baby. And so, Sis Keita was like, well, sis, you didn't have her move in, just basically, let it go. Just, just a good thing you didn't have her move in. And I said, yeah, you right. But yeah, he did that. He did that. But yeah, he did that though. Yeah, like I said, Dirty was gonna sit up here. Y'all know bed, but in there, I remember it was like 5,000 because he stood up there and talking about it, because that circus code they paid for out of that account, out of one of them accounts. So that circus code wound up paying for the treatment for her home, for her house. Sure did, for them bed bugs. Sure did. And he thought that he was going to sit up here and do that and put that female. It was just in my spirit say no, and I'm so glad that I did. Yeah. Because I was like, what? When it came out on that Saturday, he already knew that on that Wednesday. Yeah. And then plus on top of it, I was, like I said, I was just over it. I was over it. But I just wanted to, put that out or whatever. And as things come to me, I'm just going to, get on here and just talk about it. Because, it's ridiculous. A lot of the things that he, that we have been through, those of us who are no longer in there, and just, the being just dirty, grimy, just a dirty nigga. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this video right here. And until next time, I'm signing out.